Daimi, the director of Jazeera Media Institute. Mahmoud Abdelhadi stayed in his position for 3 years, and after that we had Dr. Abdelaziz Al-Hur, who was in the same position for 5 years. And how many years have you been in such a position? So welcome to the podium, Mr. Munir Al-Daimi. Every single year you say the same thing. So my relationship with Abu Nasser is similar to the relationship between the Ukrainian resistance and the invaders. So we have witnessed corona, invasion, siege, and perhaps a third world war, and you're still talking and thinking about positions. I think you should think about some other things. Anyway, so the last meeting and gathering we convened face-to-face was 2 years ago. So I am pleased to meet you once again. So the auditorium is full, and would like to salute our colleagues from Al Jazeera Network. So it seems that the screens are not working, but anyway, so we'd like to salute our colleagues in their coverage. And irrespective of our view and vision of the war, we as a media outlet, we are proud of Al Jazeera coverage through its different channels and platforms. Every time Al Jazeera proves to be the channel that can cover so many important events, where it competes with so many media outlets. So our colleagues are covering the war from the different sides of the war, and this is something that is very, very dangerous indeed, and may God protect our colleagues for them to carry out their job with all valor. So prior to Corona, we used to take things for granted. We used to meet and we used to meet face to face. Everything used to be taken for granted. And after that, the pandemic came. The pandemic controlled the world, and we started with watching the news. Corona was everywhere in the world, and then we used to say, what if it arrives to the state of Qatar? What if it impacts Al Jazeera? So in the institute we had so many battles. So Brother Jamal Al-Mleki can talk to you about this matter. So at one point in time we decided to come back and start working and invite trainees, but the restrictions were very, very strict, and we convened our first course in a hotel when the restrictions started being alleviated. And the first session we had, one of the attendees received a mitrash message saying that you are contaminated. So our brother Jamal went and stayed away from his family because he did not want to contaminate or impact his family. The same applies to another colleague who went and stayed in one of his houses in order not to contaminate members of his family. So the situation is different. So now the situation has changed. There's no problematic, and this is a blessing from God. So we have moved from a situation where we used to strive. Now we are dealing with the status quo. We're taking the precautionary measures, of course. In previous years, we had restricted measures, and also we tried to do our best so as not to be impacted by the pandemic. We carried out so many activities. We decided not to complain. My family says that I complain a lot. Men in general complain a lot. If you allow me, I would like to talk about my city in the southern part of Tunisia. So we have a bus that goes to the north every night. So we're talking about a 500-kilometer journey that takes about 8 hours. So we used to say that one of the members of the village went to the north and he started complaining. He started screaming, I am very hungry, I'm very hungry, I'm very hungry. And after a period of time, people were very upset and they put the light on and they said, if you have any food, please give him some of your food. Give him some food. Are you okay? They said, yes. And then the bus went on and people went to sleep, back to sleep. And then he said, oh my God, how hungry I was, how hungry I was. So with the help of my colleagues, we overcame such a thing. So we started convening face-to-face courses. We have had a number of fora that we convened, and also we had a number of competitions. Every time we had the chance to do so, we did that. So every time we had the chance, we came up with different or new initiatives. So when it comes to digital fora, we never thought about digital fora, and we had 1,500 persons that attended the forum, and in excess of 2 million followed the live coverage. So there's so many things that we never thought of in the past, but we did that. We had a number of digital courses, virtual courses. If you look at the figures of last year, we had a leap, we have to say, in terms of the number of persons that have attended the electronic courses. We had 39,000 in 2019, and 2021 we had 186,000. So face-to-face training, we had a retreat in the number of figures, but we had a number of trainees that have attended the courses, and also we had in excess of 3,000 trainees that have attended face-to-face courses, because we try to deal with the status quo, with the new reality. So as I said, these figures are testament to the fact that there are efforts exerted, but next year we have a lot of work to do. In 2022, we're going to start interacting with the World Cup. We're going to expand our virtual digital work. We're going to launch a book. We launched the journalism magazine, and we have also how to recount stories, how to tell a story by Muhammad al-Baqali. So there are a number of agreements that we're going to conclude, and we're going to bring that to your attention. Some of them are very important indeed. We're going to conclude an agreement with Aberdeen University here. This is going to be an in-kind leap in academic endeavors. Also, we have the production unit, and you have seen the efforts. They have a lot of work that they do carry out. They respond to the requests that we receive on a day-to-day basis. So this was not to be achieved had we not cooperated with our partners, local, regional, and international partners. We cannot dispense with them. So we are proud of their trust in us, their confidence, and this can only be achieved through the efforts exerted by our trainers and so on. These are the face of our institute. We would like to particularly thank Al Jazeera ambassadors who have volunteered this year to present a number of courses, whether directly, face-to-face, or indirectly, and the door of volunteering is open. This morning, we have sent a number of gifts to a number of our colleagues, and this is an expression of appreciation to all the sectors that directly cooperate with us. When we talk about the different sectors, this might be sometimes embarrassing because we might forget some of those sectors. So we would like to thank the technical sector and the financial sector. We keep good relationships with them. Also the creativity or creative department, and also the identity department, and also the channels, human resources, and general and public services. These are amongst the departments that work silently with us. All our efforts are linked to these general or public services. We are annoying them sometimes, but we are proud to have them work with us in this realm. I would like to thank our colleagues. Our employees have received gifts, but this year there was a sad event. Ahmed Sukar, that perhaps you all know, Ahmed Abdelaziz, died this year. We're all going to die, we have to say, but Ahmed Sukar was somebody that was known very much by the operations department, and he brought to our attention two things. He said that we sometimes forget to say goodbye to our friends or to talk about them positively. And this is true. Yes, this was a very important moment. We have to talk to our colleagues, thank them, appreciate their work while they're alive and not wait until they go. And the other thing that makes us pay attention to the freelancers. We have to thank our freelancers. I would like to particularly thank the freelancers because all the work that you can see, the number of employees has been reduced, and most of the efforts are carried out by the freelancers. So this is an attempt to reinforce the efforts exerted and particularly thank our freelancers for all the efforts they exerted. Technical freelancers in the Arabic language, in the website, in the publishing unit. We would like to thank them all, and some of them come from different departments. Amongst the freelancers, I would like to particularly thank a person, one of the colleagues who had a very important contribution. I talked to one of the colleagues, what motivates employees? I said, that other than money. He said, yes, it is money. So despite all that, we hope that the financial incentives might not be available all the time. Had I had such an incentive, I would have given you, but I don't. But at least be kind, to honor, to remember persons, to appreciate their efforts. Brother Amr Wahid is one of the colleagues who was very distinctive indeed, and he found a better position. Amr Wahid, I would like to particularly thank you. I would like to salute him for his efforts. I would like to thank you, and I do apologize for having taken too long. Thank you. We would like to invite now the General Director of Al Jazeera Network, Dr. Mustapha Suwag. May the peace and blessings of God be upon you all. In the name of God, the most compassionate, the most merciful. It seems that my colleague rushes out of the podium. He doesn't want, he wants the current director to leave for him to take his position. I think you should carry out the same plan that was carried out by Russia, or the Bouazizi method. So talking about this tradition of the sons and daughters of his village who complain a lot, I have to be witness here. Munir comes every now and then. He proposes things for development. And I do not feel that he complains a lot. And I do not think that his loyalty to his town is complete. He is a very patient person, taking into account the so many problems and issues that we cannot deny. So many of such issues have been due to the retreat in the budget, so this deprived the center from the option to employ new employees to meet the needs of the center or the institute. But despite all that, Al Jazeera Media Institute has strived, has worked until it reached 18 years of work. So the Institute is in the age of maturity, and we do suppose that at the center, at the Institute, they are able to take wise decisions. When you reach the age of discernment, then you can undertake mature decisions. But it was mature since the beginning, similar to the guy who said, "I was hungry." I think that everybody knows Al Jazeera Media Institute, particularly when it comes to what the world undergoes. So in recent years, the world has witnessed a pandemic that has imposed a certain kind of behavior in all parts of the world, and consequently a particular behavior is also imposed on media. That means that media personnel have to adopt new skills in dealing with health matters in all its different dimensions: mental, psychological, medical, social. That is why Al Jazeera Media Institute carried out a number of training courses in dealing with medical matters that are pertinent to the pandemic. Also wars. In recent years, we thought that the number of wars are going to decline, but we find them that they are increasing now. So that is why media personnel, men and women, they need to have skills that are much larger, much important than the ones they need in times of peace. So confronting weapons, bullets, this is a very difficult confrontation. And Al Jazeera Media Institute has to train journalists as to how to deal with such circumstances. And such work happens in Al Jazeera Media Network in cooperation with Al Jazeera Liberties and Human Rights. The two institutes complement each other. These are just examples of what we need, really, from Al Jazeera Media Institute and from what Al Jazeera Media Institute has carried out. The experience of Al Jazeera Media Institute in recent years is really an important level of expertise that is going to prop up media personnel in the Arab world. So when we talk about the coverage of war in Ukraine, and when we talk, as we have seen in the American withdrawal from Afghanistan and the coverage that took place, we found that Al Jazeera, in the light of what I have seen and heard, Al Jazeera was #1 in its comprehensive coverage. Even in Ukraine, which is a European Western country, and the West is very much interested in Ukraine, but despite all that, we have gone beyond the coverage by BBC, by CNN, by the large and important networks, and this is due to the experience and expertise Al Jazeera has in the coverage of large events in a comprehensive way. So in such big events, big incidents, people resort to Al Jazeera to know the details of what is happening. And this is very important indeed. And we would like here to congratulate Al Jazeera Media Institute, congratulate them for the role they have undertaken in such a realm, in training Al Jazeera personnel and media personnel from outside Al Jazeera as to how to deal with such circumstances. Undoubtedly, this huge experience and these clear needs that we all have, these cannot be completely successful unless we have cooperation, coordination, concerted efforts between all institutions of the network. That is why I invite all colleagues to continue supporting the Institute, cooperate with the Institute in terms of training, in terms of providing human resources and logistical support as much as possible. Al Jazeera Media Network delivers an exceptional service when it comes to Arab media and world media in general. We cannot deny that. That is why we hope that we're going to see more and more interest from the channel, from the operations department, to see more interest in training. We have seen a decline in the number of trainees from inside Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera personnel, some of them have become trainers themselves, but even a trainer would need more training. She needs to train himself or herself to get to know the new capabilities, the new things that are available. And we hope that our colleagues in the different departments in the channel would pay heed to such a matter, because we would like to deepen the experiences of all our staff, to deepen the skills they require, and Al Jazeera Media Institute stands ready for such an effort. And before I conclude my intervention, I would like to salute all the employees in Al Jazeera Media Institute and all those who cooperate with Al Jazeera Media Institute in contributing. I would like to thank them for their contribution, and I would like to wish you success. And we hope that we're going to be able to celebrate next year the 19th anniversary of Al Jazeera Media Institute, and we hope that the Institute would be in a much better position so as Munir not to come up with more proposals, not complaints. Thank you very much. We would like to thank Dr. Mustapha Suwaq, the General Director of Al Jazeera Media Network. hasn't Mr. Munir celebrated his 10th year in his position? I feel that I see better without my glasses. So Al Jazeera Media Institute is not only an edifice where we can develop the capabilities and skills of people. This is one of the objectives that have been established by those who have inaugurated the institute. So it is a place where journalism is developed and also skills and knowledge is developed. We do not only go to trainees in order to gauge the needs of our trainees, in order to tailor the training courses in keeping with the needs and requirements. We go to different areas, to different regions of the world in order to spread the experience of Al Jazeera network, to deepen the expertise of our trainees. So we're going to screen the following video to listen to the different impressions by different trainees from different parts of the world about the different training courses that have been convened. Unfortunately, we cannot hear the sound when it comes to the different appreciations and impressions made by the different trainees. We do apologize to the ladies and gentlemen listening to the translation. The sound of these recordings are not connected to the translation booth.
جناح شبكة الجزيرة الإعلامية في معرض الدوحة للكتاب.
صراحة مجالي بعيد عن مجال الإعلام والصحافة، لكن كان عندي اهتمام بالمجال الصحفي، والحين بقى عندي شغف أكثر.
كانت محاضرة كثير قيمة بالنسبة لي شخصياً، أعطتني كثير معلومات تتعلق بفنون التحرير الصحفي، فنون التحرير الإلكتروني.
الدورة صراحة أنا استفدت فيها كتير، ما كنتش متوقع أن أنا أستفيد الاستفادة الكبيرة دي. بشكر معهد الجزيرة.
الورشة كانت مفيدة جدا، أهم حاجة إن كان فيها تدريب على اللي إحنا خدناه.
أشكر معهد الجزيرة الإعلامي على وجوده معنا وعطائه معنا الدائم.
مثل هذه اللقاءات هي فرصة ثمينة للاقتراب من المتلقي، من مشاهدي قناة الجزيرة.
"18 years of pioneering in media training and development. 18 years. So we have mobile journalism, data journalism, skills of dealing with different media outlets, TV presentation, many training courses are presented in Al Jazeera Media Institute. Let's screen the following video.
يبدو أن هناك تغيير. يدخل اللاعب النائم للمباراة، يتقدم على الرواق الأيسر، يراوغ إلى اليمين. يبدو أن الجمهور على موعد مع المفاجآت. يخفف من السرعة، يفتح الثلاجة. الأولى لا تنفع معه، يمر للثلاجة يتقدم باتجاه منطقة الجزاء. ما هذا الأداء؟ استعدوا للتسديد. يسدد ريال.
يلا يلا يا شباب يلا. ماذا تجيب حول اتهامك بالتلاعب بالاموال؟
اموال شو يا خيي؟ انا حيلتي وفتيلتي معاشي اخر الشهر. اساسا هو اسمه معاش.
هناك شهود عيان تؤكد وجودك بمكان الحادثه.
حادثة شو يا خيي؟ انا ما بعرف حالها. اساسا انتم مين؟
طيب ما تعليقك على هذه الصوره؟
صورة شو مين هيك؟ بعد عني خيي، بعد عني.
اين افضلت الاموال؟
Excuse me?
صح 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 صح. جاهزين شباب؟ كاميرا 2 كيو.
We have come to the end of this ceremony, where we have screened to you the most important achievements that have been made despite the challenges of the pandemic. Would like to thank the General Director of Jazeera Media Network and the different directors of the different sectors. Would like to thank Mr. Hijazi and the team and all those who have contributed to the success of this event. We would like to thank you all for your contribution through the different platforms. And we'd like to invite you for a group photograph. And we're looking forward to more gatherings and more achievements. May the peace and blessings of God be upon you all. Thank you.